Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. We're a mother-daughter Etsy shop that sells all things budget and planner related. So what we're going to do today is we're going to really quickly recap December month end and then jump right into January 2020 budget setup. I did film a total 2020 budget overview a couple days ago and loaded that, and so I'm going to just very briefly just do an overview on that because I've had some questions and comments come up, so I'll just do that quickly and then we'll jump right into cash stuffing and all the fun stuff. So if I could use one word to describe December second half, I'm going to just say out of control. So I did exceed my grocery money, my eating out money. I think I have $45 left in my wallet right now. It's a little bit of allowance and a little bit of grooming money. I did use my entire sinking fund, which I've never done that. I've always had a little bit left over, but I've used the whole thing. We have a very large family and we had new additions this year, and between gifts and stocking stuffers, I do need to completely increase my budget for next year. So and that's part of my sinking funds, and I'll kind of show you how I'm calculating that this year, or I need to cut back one of the two, but we can't do both again because it was really a very expensive month, both in groceries and food. We did a lot of family get-togethers. We even did kind of a potluck with leftovers, and I still exceeded the budget, and I had increased it as well. So this is kind of how it ended up. I was over $87 in groceries. I had a little bit left in grooming and a little bit left in allowance, and everything else was spent by week 2. So even my planning for this week, the money was gone. So I'm gonna have to use this month's budget for right now, or not eat or do anything. So that ends that planner actually, and we're gonna move into the new one. So for this one, I did set up in the very back the 2020 budget. So what I did was I took all of my expenses that I use, whether it be a cash envelope or a fixed expense or a lifestyle expense, and I averaged out for the year and then brought that down to a monthly. So this is how I came up with my numbers. So what I traditionally do when I set up my budget for the month is I go onto the app for my utilities and I look at what I paid for last year. So instead of doing that every month, I went ahead and looked at them up for the month and plugged in things like my HOA, what month those are going to come out, what month, when you look at my electric, because I live in Arizona, so it goes from $123 in February to a high of $570 in August. It really just depends on how hot the summer is, and how miserable you want to be by living here. Natural gas is another one that kind of varies based on as low as 20, and it went up to 68 in the month of January. So we do actually have more natural gas appliances this year than we did last year, so I'm going to kind of raise that up from what I've been estimating. It's been pretty much on, but you never really know. So once I plugged them all in, I divided it by 12, and that's where I got the number, which was an average. So for the year last year in electric, we paid $3,094. I divided that by 12, so it averages $258 a month. Now there used to be a program in Arizona where you could average your utilities, so you paid the same month every month, so you didn't have the highs and lows, but the program has gone away, and that's because at the end of the year they kind of right-sided it, so if they had underestimated, you had a pretty big bill. So now what they recommend that you do is kind of do this project yourself, and then you can prepay your utilities if you want to by adding every month, and so then when the summertime comes, you're working towards that credit instead of having to budget $200 one month and $600 the other month. So I'm kind of just gonna play it by ear and see. I might just keep the money in my account while I let them have it, and then I won't be stressing about it, but it's been working pretty well, just looking at what I paid the year before and kind of averaging that into my budget. So that's where I came up with my averages, and then as the bills come in for January, I'll just erase this and then put in what the actual is, and then I'll have it set up for next year. Lifestyle, which are my cash envelopes, are pretty much going to stay the same. They've worked out really well. I think I'm at a good place with my balances. Some months I'm under, some months I'm over, but I think it pretty much has stayed pretty consistent. My subscriptions are a little bit different this time because I have bills that are quarterly that I've been putting into a sinking fund and taking the money out. All I have done is moved it in and out. So it seems like every month I'm moving it in, every month I'm moving it out. So I'm just gonna leave the money in my account this year. I'm not gonna have a sinking fund for those 3 bills. Subscriptions, like Amazon Prime, Ali Edwards, Pest Control, which is really a quarterly, and Element, I just put down here just so I know that they could go away if I needed them to. I need to move Audible over because it's not there. Sinking funds, I've always had vacation, gifts, and Christmas and dental, and I'm adding to this year medical copays. So for the first time in as long as I can remember, we're going to have a family deductible. So I've never had a deductible. I never wanted my kids to worry if they had to go to the doctor, that if they didn't have the money. I just wanted them to know that they just had a copay. But for now, it really makes more sense. So I'm just going to have the money in my account. We already have it in our medical savings account, but I'm just going to have it in my account just so it's there. And then for debt Snowball, I will have no debt after April. So I just have 2. And then I put Capital One here because I do use that every month and then pay it off. But as I found this month, it kind of crept up on me because there was more on there than I had thought about, like the average. I don't know what happened. I think because I put a lot of Christmas on that, and then when I went to pay it off, it was more. I think I was spending more because I was online shopping and physical shopping, so I don't want to do that again. So I'm just really going to watch what goes on here, and I'm going to track it so that it keeps it front and forward in my mind. And then as soon as our debt is paid off in April, then I will start on the emergency fund. Now, we already have our 3 to 6 month emergency fund in another account at another bank. But I want to have one attached to the checking account. So just, I'll feel better if it's here. So I'm going to start with that in probably April. We already have the $1,000 one that Dave Ramsey recommends, but I would like more of a cushion just to have super quick access to it. And then I'm going to keep track of my business expenses here. So I've been doing a spreadsheet on Excel, and now I need to catch up because I haven't done it for the last 2 months. So I'm just going to put it in here so everything's all together. This is the kit that I created. It just helped me. We have had some requests, so I am going to put it in the shop. We are going to have a sale this weekend, and it's Pretty 2020. So it's 20% off from now until the end of January 2nd. And so this kit will go into the shop, and it is going to be $21, which is really probably not enough for the amount of work it's going to be. But I think it's going to be helpful, and the number of questions and requests I've had kind of make me feel like it will be. So it will have the budget strips, so it has the monthly, it has the totals, and some of these I didn't use, but I left them on the sheet because I think some people will want to have them. This is the strips that come down, and it was just after keep drawing them in and taking them off, I just went ahead and made the stickers. And this is formatted for the 7x9. I have not formatted it for the 8.5 by 11. If that is a request, just let me know. And then it will also come with the yearly headers. We don't put dates or months on any of our products because we want you to be able to use them whenever. So this one just says yearly budget setup, so it could be true for next year or this year. This one is the Apricots font, and then we also have it in the Poppins font. So I used Apricot when I set up 2020, but I used Poppins when you see my January setup. And then this one has the categories, and then this one is the cash envelope. So this one has 44 different scripts on it. You can customize this, and this is probably where I'm going to not be as excited about this project, but I think most of these are going to be pretty common. I mean, mobile phone, water trash, things like that. But if you have things that you want to see on yours, you do have flexibility to customize as well. And then this is the cash envelope one. This one has, I have 8 cash envelopes, so there's 5 on here, so it's enough. 1 page is enough for the entire month. And then I think once, you know, the setup is done, we may offer these just in the shop as our custom sticker. We already have a custom sticker listing. We might just do this. And this was a request from a customer who asked if I could please do this for her. So she's already ordered her year supply. So I will be sending those out in the mail to her on Monday. So this is one setup, and then this is the other setup. And then it also comes with 2 pages of the thick washi and 1 page of the thin washi. And this is a kit that will be going into the shop this weekend as well. So it's kind of, it matches, but it doesn't need to be. But I just really was, I love this kit. It's probably been my favorite so far. So that will be the year budget kit that will be posted this weekend. And in the meantime, I ended up getting a cold from my niece's little girl, and I passed it on to my daughter, so she is not able to help me. So I'm trying to get everything listed, but just be patient, okay? Great. Okay, so let's look at January. Now, I think when I set up the yearly, I was very unsure about what our real income was going to be because my husband's retiring as of the 31st. We are not sure when he's going to have a paycheck, and we know he's going to have a paycheck, but he meets with HR, I think, on the 2nd of the month, 2nd of January, and his first paycheck, which would be his retirement check, one of his retirement checks would be on the 10th. So what we've been doing for a year now is we have been putting excess money into an account just to kind of get through this time of adjusting to what the number's going to be. It looks like now he is going to go back to work at the end of this month, end of January. So, you know, we've been budgeting for retirement for probably, we knew he was going to retire in February. He retired a couple months early, but we've been pretty much planning for the last 2 years of what our retirement income was going to be and living on that. So this now just changes everything, which will be great. We'll have, you know, more money to do things around the house and vacation, things like that. But I'm just keeping my budget set right where it's at, and we'll just see what happens, okay? That's my plan. So this should look very familiar to you if you've seen our videos before. This is my budget worksheet. I did a few changes this year to it. I brought in more under the subscriptions. I gave more room for sinking funds. Kind of just made it a little tighter, so it gave me more room to work. And then it still totals here, and I still use this for my cash envelopes. Because if I don't, I get to the bank and I have no idea what to ask them for. So this is where it's going to be kind of, we're going to, we'll have the same income for January, even though I did sign up for benefits and I thought my check would be about $500 less. They didn't take them out yet. So they are active. We already have our card. So I'm sure I'll see that in February where my check will come down. But then his check should go up because he's always carried the benefits. And again, we're shooting in the dark here. So just bear with us as we get this done. And this is why my little planner finance heart is so happy right now, is because we've kind of planned for all the variables. So I'm not stressing out right now on what it's going to be. So sinking funds we're going to add some, and you'll see those when I kind of roll this out. So let's get started. So this is the kit that I'm using for January. I will tell you that my daughter and I strongly disagreed on this kit. I thought it was too muted, and it's been a top seller. So luckily I was wrong. So it has the thin washi, the budget headers as always, the budget strips, the thick washi, and then this is an add-on sheet that you can also purchase, and I'll show you how I use that. So this front page, how I've been using it is I'm going to have monthly goals. Birthdays, one thing I learned at Christmas time is that I did not realize how many birthdays we had in a year. So when I set up my sinking fund for birthday/gifts for holiday, I really did not take into account that we had 2 babies this year, wedding gifts, we had a birthday every month between my nieces and nephews and their kids and my sisters and family. I mean, we really had a lot that was going out. The other part is that I have always really spent a lot of money on my girls for their birthdays, and I really need to look at, you know, it's just getting out of control. So I am going to start tracking birthdays here because it really is a budget conversation. So if I'm planning to put $200 into the sinking fund for gifts, but I know I need to buy a gift for $35, I'm really not putting $200 in. So I have to kind of, when I lay out what I need to put in there, I also need to account for what am I going to be using this month. And that's kind of what I didn't do when it came time for Christmas, was by the time I had paid for baby gifts and wedding gifts and everything else, there wasn't as much money for Christmas as I had been putting in. So either I need to do 2 separate funds or I need to recalculate it. So that is what my plan is this year. My monthly goals, I'm kind of still talking about, but I think what I did like that I did in the month of November was I saved everything that was left in my envelopes to kind of go into a savings fund. I also did no spend days, and there was a lot of conversation on what was considered a no spend day, so I will clarify that before I start this time. And then down here, it bothered me, so I just put a sticker on top of that, and then I'm gonna put notes. And then what my plan is to do is to kind of put over here what worked and what didn't work. So what do I need to work on? Maybe it's overspending in a category, or maybe what I did right, you know. So anything that was like the good, bad, and the ugly will go over here at the end of the month. And then this is what the month looks like. So these are the items that are different for this month. So Amazon Prime is due this month. Backblaze, which is my offsite backup program, is due on the 15th. Gaia, which is a yoga / meditation app, and I kind of going back and forth on this, but I do like it. I just am not super consistent, but it is less expensive to buy it for the year, pay for the year, and then if I don't want to do it, they will refund the balance. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and then either if I don't use it in the next month, then I'll just ask for a refund. And then my HOA is due this month as well. And I put gym with a question mark. I did have a membership to gym. They closed. So my company does offer a program where it's a payroll deduction, and if I go 4 times in the month, then all I pay is $25. But I do feel like I should always have that money set aside. So if I, for whatever reason, went a whole month and didn't go for my 4 times, which probably wouldn't happen, but just say it did, then my payroll deduction would be $109. So I just want to have the money again in the bank just to see, you know, you never know. But it's a great program. It's a brand new gym. It's a Lifetime Fitness. I mean, you really couldn't get a gym for $25 a month. So I think I'm going to do that. It's not built yet. They're in the process of building it. So I'm not going to do it until it's open because there is not another one close to me. So that is kind of what I'm working on right now. And then this is how I set up the kit this time. I did, and again, you do not need to do it this way. You could do it just the way I've always done it, which is writing them out. But I really liked the look of the setup for the yearly budget with the stickers. So I went ahead and put the stickers in for the category. And then over here I have my estimated monthly income, my sinking funds, and my debt snowball. And then my cash envelopes, my weekly check-in, and then the transaction log. So I really like the way it turned out. My daughter was completely correct. I was wrong. So again, she'll be telling me that for the rest of my life. So, okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So where's my cheat sheet? Now I did talk about this in the past where I increased my mortgage. So at the end of the year, we do 1 extra payment. Instead of doing 1 extra payment, like the full payment, I just took our principal amount, divided it by 12, and I add that onto our payment. Well, our escrow account went down, and so we're actually making like 1.5 times, 1.5 payments a year, which is great. But I went ahead and left it. So we're paying $3,300, and that will come out of the account on the 31st. HOA is $219. And that's quarterly. Our mobile phone actually went down a little bit. I mean, not much, but $380. Telephone is $45. Life insurance is $106. Car insurance is $303. Now this may change a little bit. Now my husband is looking for a car. We have my 2 daughters on our insurance plus his truck, which is an older truck, and then my car is a company car, so we don't pay insurance on that. So he is thinking of buying another car but keeping the truck. So we'll see what happens with that one. Electricity, I'm guessing it's going to be $200. Last year in January we paid $193. So again, that's where it's nice to have that yearly spread in the back of the planner. My water bill has already come in and it's $143. Pest control, I'm gonna put 30 in the account, just leave it there, because that's it's $90 every 3 months, but we're not paying it this month. But I'm just gonna, again, instead of doing a sinking fund for bills, I'll just put it in there. Netflix is $15, internet is $110. I do think that's going down because we bought a router and we're not renting theirs. We didn't even know we were renting theirs. Clothing, $150. Etsy shop, I put $250. I really don't need anything. I mean, we are very well stocked up. I did a lot of shopping. There were some great specials on sticker paper and things like that. I did join the HP ink program and that has been fantastic. So right now I think we're good with $250. And then for natural gas, last year it was $68. That just seems really high, but we're just gonna leave it. Audible will be $16, Element $70, Ali Edwards $15, Amazon Prime is going to be $120, and then I did add an unbudgeted category because I had a lot of unbudgeted in December, so I'm just going to leave that right there and we'll see what happens. And then as bills come in, I'll fill in the actual and then the plus or minus. So we know the HOA is already going to be $219, my mobile phone is actual, CenturyLink is fine, insurance. This one I don't know. Water trash is pest control because it's just an estimate. This one might change. I'm gonna leave that one. Clothing I don't know. Shop I don't know. Natural gas I don't know. Audible will be $16, $70, $15, and Amazon Prime. And then so first unbudgeted, well it's budgeted but it's not budgeted, is the back blaze, and that's going to be $60, and then he is $95. But you'll kind of see those over in my subscriptions too, but I'm just going to put it there just so I don't forget it. Okay, so for my, and again, we'll do sinking funds later. Paycheck number 1, $3,100. Paycheck number 2, $3,100. My one daughter pays she pays $200 because she has a more expensive phone. She pays $180. My expenses will be a little bit less this month because we had to do our expenses early. So only one expense will pay in January, and I'm not rolling any money over from December. I wish, I'm not. So for recreation and entertainment, I did find that I was putting money in and out a lot because I was doing more online shopping. So whether it be at Joann's or it was a movie. So I think this time I'm only going to put 40 in and leave the rest in the account. So that is my plan for right now. I'm going to start with 40. And then personal care, I think it's going to be a little bit more expensive this month because I have a massage scheduled, but I've been doing 90 minutes and I've been splitting massages, but now I'm at that point where I'm not going to be able to, so because I'm kind of caught up. So it's $30 and I really prefer the 90 minutes. So I'm going to keep it 90 minutes. And then also I need to get my hair cut and colored, and then maybe a pedicure. But we do have a big national meeting this month in January, so I know I'm going to spend a little bit more. So I did put personal care as 100. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's something wrong here. So no, I did personal care as 60. Okay, that's why I was like, there's something so wrong right now. So my budget for the month is 100, but what I'm funding right now is 60. Okay, so one fund 60. My massage isn't till the end of the month, so I'll have 40 left to put in for that when that time comes. Okay, so the money left, it should be 110, if I did everything right. 110 is household. And my budget for the month is 220. This will be for the first part of the month, and that's 110. I did make a cash stuffing tab, and that's what I've been using when I go to the bank. Those are all extra. And these go back in here. And this stays at home, and that way when next Friday it rolls around, I go to here when I need to fill my envelopes up. And then on the 10th, I'll do another cash stuffing in 2 weeks. Okay, so that is how the budget is looking right now. Let me put these back in here. I was in a very pastel-y mood when I picked out these envelopes, and let's see how long I stay in a pastel mood, because I normally am not a pastel person. But so I always like to say during my videos that budgeting is very personal. I have learned a lot of tips and techniques over the years from different people. I am a Dave Ramsey fan, though I'm not 100% Dave Ramsey, because he would never agree to a credit card. So even if you pay it, or even if it's interest free. So I do some things a little bit differently, but I do believe in cash spending. I do believe in sinking funds, savings. It makes me happy. It makes me feel more secure. But it's really important that you do what's best for you and your family and your time of life, your financial situation. We have already paid for colleges. Both my girls, do not have student loan debt. We did not let them, nor did we take out loan. We cash flowed the wedding. It's really important for us that they go to college and get an education, but that, they don't have that debt hanging over their heads for, years afterwards. So that's just where we are in our life. We're more at the time where we have fully funded our retirement savings. We've built up our emergency fund. We've built up funds to do some repair around the house. And now we're just going back and finishing up a little bit of debt that I have. My husband doesn't have any. That I created this year when we opened up the shop. So other than that, we would be debt free. But you know what? We're working on it, and we'll get done in the next couple of months. So, please let us know if you have any questions. If you are interested in any of the budgeting kits, we do have a few more that are coming into the shop. I'll just really quickly show you. This one will be coming into the shop. And then this one will be coming into the shop as well. The sale again is 20% off. The code is Pretty 2020, and that will be from today until the 2nd. Good luck with your budgeting journey in 2020. I hope you are very successful and you are making headway on whatever your financial goals are. If you have not subscribed, please do so and hit the alert. We are thankful that you are along with us on this journey, and we appreciate all the support that we have received since we started this back in September. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend. We have New Year's this week, and then it's back to reality. So I hope you all have a happy and safe new year. Thank you so much.